Stop spraying WD-40. Seriously, stop. Because what you're doing might not just be wrong, it might be silently destroying your tools, your car, your appliances, and even your home. I know that sounds dramatic, but if you're like most people, you've been brainwashed into thinking WD-40 is the magical solution for everything that squeaks, sticks, or rusts. That blue and yellow can feels like a miracle worker, right? But here's what they never told you. WD-40 was never designed to be the fix-all lubricant you've been using it as. It was created as a water displacement spray, not a long-term lubricant, not a rust prevention solution, and definitely not a fix for precision mechanics. Yet people keep spraying it on everything from door hinges and locks to car engines, electrical circuits, and even delicate machinery. And each time you do that, you're unknowingly shortening the lifespan of those parts, attracting more dust, removing essential oils, and in some cases, even causing more corrosion in the long run. Why do you think so many mechanics secretly cringe when customers proudly say, "Don't worry, I already sprayed it with WD-40"? Because they know, most of the time, that spray just made things worse. It gives you the illusion of fixing the problem. Things move easier, the squeak is gone, but what's happening underneath the surface is slow degradation. And the worst part? It's costing you money. Not immediately, but over time, in repairs, replacements, reduced efficiency, and irreversible damage to materials that weren't meant to absorb it. You've been trained, by marketing, by habits, by hearsay, to grab that can every time something sticks. But today, we're pulling back the curtain. Because unless you understand what WD-40 is actually made for, and where it should never be used, you're not just making mistakes. You're building future problems that could cost you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So before you spray that can one more time, just ask yourself this. What if everything you thought about WD-40 was wrong? Stick around, because once you know the truth, you'll never use it the same way again. 1. WD-40 is not a lubricant. It was originally designed as a water displacer, not a long-term lubricant. Its slick feel is temporary. It quickly evaporates, leaving behind a residue. That residue attracts dust and dirt, making things worse over time. You're not fixing the problem. You're just creating a short-term illusion of smoothness. 2. It strips away protective lubricants. When sprayed on hinges, chains, or gears, WD-40 removes the original oil or grease. This makes parts vulnerable to friction, corrosion, and breakdown. The more you spray, the more you weaken what was already protecting your tools or machines. 3. It damages door hinges and attracts dust. Spraying WD-40 on door hinges gives a temporary fix to squeaks, but it quickly wears off and then dirt builds up, grinding down the hinge. Result? More noise, faster wear, and long-term damage. Better alternative? Use white lithium grease or silicone spray. 4. It ruins locks and padlocks. Inside locks, WD-40 displaces vital greases and attracts grime and metal particles. Over time, this clogs the mechanism, causing it to stick or seize. In winter, it worsens. WD-40 leaves moisture-prone residue that can freeze inside. Proper fix: use graphite powder or dried Teflon lubricant. 5. It's unsafe on car engines and spark plugs. WD-40 is flammable and leaves a non-conductive, sticky residue. Using it on spark plugs or ignition systems is risky. You're increasing the chance of short circuits or fire. It also doesn't protect against high heat or friction. Better option: use dielectric grease or real engine-safe lubricants. 6. It destroys bicycle chains. On bike chains, WD-40 strips off proper lubricants and leaves the chain exposed. It increases friction, causes faster wear, and leads to rust. Regular use ruins the drivetrain and costs you in parts and performance. What to use? Use bike-specific wet or dry chain lube. 7. It's not safe for electrical components. WD-40 isn't a true electrical contact cleaner. It may temporarily displace moisture, but it leaves a film that traps dust. Over time, it can cause electrical resistance, shorts, or failures. Solution: use a proper electrical contact cleaner that evaporates cleanly. 8. WD-40 creates dependency. The quick fixes feel good, but they condition you to keep respraying. This leads to a cycle of repeated use that causes more wear, more damage, and more breakdowns. It's not saving you money. It's setting you up for ongoing failure and hidden costs. 9. It costs you more in the long run. Damage from misuse leads to replacing parts prematurely, hiring mechanics or specialists, dealing with system failures you could have avoided. You think you're solving problems, but you're slowly destroying value. 10. Know when to use it and when to avoid it. Use it for removing sticker residue, freeing stuck bolts, short-term water displacement. Avoid it on locks, electrical parts, chains, engines, and anything that requires long-term lubrication. So now you know the truth. WD-40 isn't the all-purpose miracle spray you were led to believe. It's a trap disguised as a solution. You thought you were fixing problems, but in reality, you may have been creating silent, costly damage with every spray. But here's the good news. Now you're in control. Now you know what to avoid, what to use instead, and how to actually protect your tools, your car, your home, and your wallet. No more guessing. No more relying on marketing myths. Because once you stop misusing WD-40 and start using the right products for the right problems, you'll instantly see the difference. Smoother performance, longer lifespan, fewer breakdowns, and real savings. So next time your instinct tells you to grab that blue and yellow can, pause. Remember what you learned here, and do it the right way.